Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lorelei. My channel is where I share all kinds of knitting, stationery, pen paling, paper crafting, things I'm up to. Very busy person when it comes to crafts. And in today's video, I'm going to talk about my experience going to the 2022 New York Sheep and Wool Festival that was held in Rhinebeck, New York this weekend. I'm gonna show a haul of things that I bought while I was at two different events. The Woolen Folk event, which happened on Friday at the Hutton Brickyards in Kingston, New York, and then what I bought at Rhinebeck, the Wool and Sheep Festival itself. And then after I go over that, at the end, I'm going to talk a little bit more in length about my current plans for the mystery knit along that I was doing with the Stephen West. I had mentioned that in the last video, so if this doesn't interest you in seeing like what I brought home from the festivals, then that's completely fine. I'll see you guys on the next video. But for now, I'm going to talk a little bit about my weekend. So I went to the festival with my friend Sydney. She used to live in the area where I live, and we met on a whim several years ago when I was working at the quilt shop in Utica. She came in shopping for fabric, and as we chatted, we realized that we're both knitters. So we started knitting together about once a week, and she has since moved to the Rochester area. So she came down and dropped her car off here, and we drove together to Kingston to attend the Woolen Folk. Here's the little pamphlet at Hutton Brickyards in Kingston. This event cost $45 to get in and included live music, food vendors, and then a lot of hand-dyed artisan created yarns. I don't exactly know how many vendors. This is the vendors list, so you can get an idea how many people were there. I'll put in pictures as I'm talking. I took a couple. This claims that it had these food vendors. I only saw two vendors selling food, and the lines were extremely long. You can see here's the map of how everything was laid out. It was really a cool venue. It was right on the bank of the Hudson River. There was a whole schedule of things. We ended up not sticking around for the podcast live, where podcasters were actually filming their podcast live during the event. We didn't make it that far. We were too hungry and decided to leave to go have some lunch, but there was a lot of really great sponsors at this particular event. So we were there when they opened at noon and got right in, and it was nice. It was really, really nice show. I thought there wasn't enough food, but like I said, I only saw two, plus coffee. So I saw two food vending trucks, and there was just lines of 100 people or more in each. So I was like, that's not about to stand in line there. But let me show you what I bought at that event. Let's see. I'll start with this first. Do I go with a plan? No, I do not. I buy what speaks to me. And that is exactly what I did. I had one project in mind that I want to do, and this yarn is for that project. I have plans of knitting the Hilly Hood I don't recall the name of the designer. I'll put it on the screen. It's a hood that fits over your head, has a hole for your face, but like covers your neck, and it's made with yarn. It's made with a DK weight yarn, held double with a mohair. In my case, I bought baby Surrey alpaca instead because I think it's softer. So this is what I ended up getting for it. You're going to see a major color theme in this video. So this is what I got for it. It's Little Fox yarns. The base is called Vulpine. Vulpine? I don't know. And the color is De Lovely on all bases, on both bases. So these are 231 yards. Here's a little label shot. Hopefully you can see that. I don't know. Maybe it's not gonna focus. And then this, like I said, is this base. I have no idea how to pronounce that. And this is 328 yards, 50 grams of baby Surrey alpaca and 26% silk. It's a heavy lace weight yarn. So gorgeous. Love this color. It's showing very teal on the screen. It's actually a little bit more blue. A little bit more muted. So that was one thing I bought there. That was a really nice find. I've never tried Little Fox yarns before, but Sydney has. So it came highly recommended from her. I'll talk about this next. So I ended up we were like milling around outside, and we realized that there was actually like a trailer that was called Frogget, I think. It looked like they had a couple of different brands of yarn inside. And I found this particular yarn that I think is going to be great for a sweater. And it was very affordable. So Sydney was familiar with this yarn as well. It's actually made by Kelborn Woolens, and it's called Scout. And I just could not get over all of the like tones of color in there. There was a couple different options with this kind of effect, but I don't know. I love this color. I think it's going to be beautiful on the sweater. I bought 5 skeins of it. It is I don't know what the color is Autumn Heather. I don't know what the weight is. I believe it's a light worsted. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It says it's a 3 as far as the scale goes. There, see that first one says 3. Calls for a 5 to a 7 needle, or an F to an H crochet hook. Do I have a sweater in mind for this? No. Did I buy enough? Who knows? I suppose we'll cross that road when we get there. But anyway, that's what I bought. There's 5 of them in here, and they're all gorgeous, and I'm excited. It doesn't really come out very well on the screen, but in person it's lovely. Really lovely. Okay, now let's talk about this. We went to a booth called a card for Little Fox. Here's the Little Fox info. Hopefully you can read that. I don't know, maybe you can't. I don't know why it's not focusing. Well, I'll show you the yarn. I can't remember the name of the booth. I bought 3 of these balls. It's called Moda Wool Dreamers. And the story got me on this yarn. So the girl said, you know, Manchego cheese, it's a Spanish cheese that's very popular. That cheese is made from sheep's milk, and the sheep, this is the yarn from those sheep. I mean, that's so great. I love that. I love that story. It's so cool. So this color, I have no idea what this is called. Each ball is 252 yards. I have no plan for this. The colorway number is 718G. And the color is just perfect. Can you tell I like teal? Uh-huh. Yep. This is a worsted weight. This says Wool Dreamers. I guess that might have been the name of the booth I was at. They're check out wooldreamers.com, because this is really, it feels great. It's really nice. Yeah. Anyway, that's another thing I got. Love those. They're awesome. Okay, then I got some yarn from a company that I've never heard of before called Coats and Company. Check out coatsandcofiber.com. Their booth was amazing. It was very curated. There was not a ton of options, and their mini skeins is what drew me in. And I saw them before I even left. Like Friday morning, I was online looking at the vendor list and going to the different websites to see what was going to be available. And I came across this website and I saw these beautiful mini skeins, and I just love the colors of them. And when I was there, their booth was like really just clean lines and light wood shelving units, and they had like one wall of skeins like this, sock weight. This looks the same, but actually these are more green than this. See? I got two of these. These are cottage sock, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 100-gram skeins, a fingering weight yarn. The color is called dark teal, color 20, dark teal. I got two of those, and you'll see how I kind of matched these to the mini skeins that I also got. And then this. Now, this is coming off as gold. This is not. This is like almost highlighter type yellow. Oh my gosh, I wish I could show this better. No. The camera's like, I don't know what color that is. What's happening? The color is called electric yellow. I bought one skein of it. I'm just thinking socks. It's like so fun. I love it. Bright, bright, bright yellow. And this is the same base, cottage sock, so I got one of those. The teal I'm thinking is of doing something like a shawl with. And then the mini skeins. There's this one. Autumn tonals. You can't beat that. They're so good. Each mini skein is 20 grams or 89 yards. So in all, this is 623 yards. Oh. love it so much. And I think that this looks really good with this. And then I could not say no to this one. There's that electric yellow again. So this. Am I going to knit them together? I don't know. No, probably not. Maybe I'll use a couple of these for heels and toes. Who knows? I just couldn't say no. I could not say no. They're so good. And then there was another one that I didn't buy, and I wish I did. There was another one. That one was more like yellows and blue greens and greens. That one was really good too. This is so awesome. Like, it's my new favorite thing right here. Look how fun. So that is what I bought at that show. A fair amount, right? A fair amount. As far as people that I saw there, very excited to say that I met Melissa. What is her last name? Clulo. She used to be the co-host with Lisa of the Espace Tricot podcast. Y'all know and love it. Melissa was there selling her yarn, Sonder yarn. I didn't get any. I was going to. And then it got crazy busy in there and I just couldn't get back into that booth. But I have my eye on a couple things. Their gray space is really beautiful. Sydney bought a couple of skeins of their gray space, which is a fingering single ply. And then she also bought I can't remember if she bought the mohair or if she bought the Surrey alpaca mohair alternative in like a pinky color. And the gray space that she bought was like a light gray lavender. Oh, so beautiful. So that was lovely to hug her and say hi to her. And we had a quick chat, not very long. And then I saw a bunch of people that I knew, but I didn't talk to them because I was scared, or I didn't want to interrupt their shopping experience. Like, I saw the part of the Knitters League podcast girls in the Lamb and Kid booth, and they were like really intensely shopping, as they should, and I didn't want to interrupt that process because I knew at 3 o'clock, like in an hour, they were going to go do their podcasting thing. So I didn't want to interrupt them. However, I did find Alyssa on the outskirts of that booth and chatted her up. So that was fun to see her. She was so beautiful in person, and we just quickly chatted, and I saw them again at Rhinebeck too, as a full group, and was able to talk to all of them. Didn't get a picture, sadly, but yeah, I love them. I've watched them forever, and they it's always weird, you know, you like go up to them like, I know everything about you, but they don't know anything about me, you know what I mean? They don't even know that I keep a YouTube channel or whatever. It's fine. I don't need to be nobody needs to watch this hot mess. But it's always weird, like, walking up to somebody that doesn't know you and be like, I love watching your podcast. You know, it's like such a weird dynamic. It's hard not to be awkward about it, you know. But she was thankful. Alyssa was thankful that I walked up to her and said hi, you know. So we left there and we got food, and we went to Buns. There's a couple of different Buns chains. The one we went to was, I think, in Kingston. No, maybe it was Saugerties. It was Saugerties. So we went and ate there, had burgers. They were outstanding. Loved it so much. And Sydney told me about it while we were there, and I had forgotten, but the girls from Cocktail Hour at the Coop talk about that Buns place a lot, that they never miss out on getting a Buns burger. So I'm glad I got to experience that. It was delicious. And then we went to the Perfect Blend tea and yarn shop in Saugerties. Is that in Saugerties? Yeah, I think it is. What an adorable shop. And the downtown area was really cute too. I didn't end up buying anything there because I knew that I had the big show the next day, and I was like, you know, I was on a pretty tight budget. I didn't want to like waste all of my money in the first day, you know what I mean? So I didn't end up buying anything. Saw many things there that I wanted to get. There was a lot of great sock yarn there. They had Emma's Yarn, which was their trunk show for the weekend. So that was fun to see her yarn. She was there. Yeah, it was good. Sydney bought like a knitting needle there. And then we went back to our, we went and finally checked into our Airbnb, which was an old 60s Airstream camper that was perched on this really big hill across the street from this raging river. It was really picturesque. And just the leaves and the fall season, it was cold and it was beautiful. We had a nice time there. It was, even though it was so old, they really had it updated and filled with anything we needed. We had everything we needed there. We could have had a fire. They had firewood and a fire pit, but we didn't end up doing that. It was actually pretty cold. It was down in the 30s that night. But we just hung out inside. It had heat. It had AC. It had a full fridge. It had, they left us a little s'mores kit on the table, which was so cute. And we didn't have a fire, so we didn't like have any of that. But Sydney had brought snacks, so we, because we ate that late kind of lunch closer to dinner kind of time frame, whatever. I think we ate there at like 3 o'clock and then just snacked on stuff. And so it had like a big bed in the front of the camper and then the kitchenette. And then there were 2 twin beds, which is where I slept, and Sydney slept on the big bed. And then in the back was the bathroom. Full shower. I mean, it was tight in there, but had a full shower. The hot water was not great, I have to say. I didn't take a shower just because after Sydney showered, she was like, yeah, the water was like ice cold and then scalding hot and then ice cold and scalding hot. And I was like, ran the water when she got out and it was just cold. And I was like, I'm not taking an ice cold shower. No, thank you. So if you saw me on Saturday, no, I had not showered. TMI. But anyway, we left in the morning on Saturday morning, went to have breakfast. We had breakfast at Dietz Diner, which is next door to another diner bakery place that we had gone before when I went a couple years ago and met up with David Dogdare and the Mean Girls Knit podcast and Nancy. We all had breakfast there. That was a really great place. But Dietz was incredible too. I had an omelet. It was awesome. I'll show you a picture. And then from there we went to the Woolen Sheep Fest. We got in there about 9:30 and it was busy. It was real busy, like real busy. I know that it's like that on Saturday. I didn't plan that well for this trip. I feel like I should have gone on Sunday, but I wanted to do the Woolen Folk thing, and that was on Friday. And budget-wise, I couldn't stay 2 nights, so it is what it is. We went and we battled the crowds on Saturday, didn't buy that much. It was crazy. Every line for the bathroom was 100 people long. Every line for every food vendor was 100 people long. The barns were so crowded, you could barely get into the booths to see anything at all. I wouldn't recommend going on Saturday, actually. I mean, I wouldn't want to do it again. It was just a lot, especially after I've just got over COVID a couple weeks ago. Being in big crowds of people, not really my shtick anymore. Don't love it. So It is what it is. You might be asking yourself, where was Nancy? Nancy and her husband were going to come on Saturday and meet up with us at the show. They got 2 hours into their trip and their car started making a noise and they had to turn around and go back. It was so sad. I was so sad not to be able to see her. I only see her once a year at this event and it was sad. So I'm going to have to make an extra effort to go and see them. They live on Seneca Lake, so you can't beat that. I mean, I'm just going to invite myself over. Hope you don't mind, Nance. So it was just me and Sydney, and we shopped around the show. So let's see what I ended up buying there. The first thing we did was go see my friend Lisa, LisaPetersArt.com. She was in building A, I believe. That's where she usually sets up. She has all ceramic buttons that she makes handmade. And I couldn't pass these 2 sets of buttons up. I always buy them from her and they're amazing. So the first one that I chose and picked. Now these probably won't end up on my knits. I mean, maybe. But I like using these for jewelry. If you don't know anything about me, I'm a jewelry designer. And I've been using Lisa's work in my jewelry designs for many years now. So I just love the moodiness of those, the color, and they look great with this teal blue, of course. So maybe I'll put them on a hat or just like one on a hat or something. And then these, you can't even get the idea of the color of these, but they're teal on the edges and they've got speckles of pink and green. Very pretty. Love those. And she had some stickers in her booth. And here's who made those. Cute, right? So I got those. The next thing we found was a booth. Alex Bird. I'm sure you recognize her name because she's big. She's really popular pattern designer out there right now. She has a new book out and I bought the book. Because she had a sample. She had many samples. Look how beautiful this is. Look at that kind of patterning. That's like the Estonian pattern on the binding. It's so beautiful. Well, she had samples from the book, and I fell in love with many of the things. First of which was a shawl. They had 2 different colorways of this shawl there, and it was so gorgeous. I could not even stand it. Sydney also bought this book. Now, I don't know if you can see that, but go on Ravelry and look up this shawl, Tivod. It is incredible. Here's a nice example also on the back. See, that's how I know you know her. I got to chat with her. She's very, very friendly. So this shawl, it's stockinette, and then it's got these little fringy loops. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to make that. I didn't buy yarn there. She had, the yarn that she used for a lot of the projects was called Garthenor Organic. This particular base is called Preseli, Preseli. It's a Polworth Romney Hebridean blend. The main color is called Holly, and the pink the two colors of pink. There's like a darker reddish pink and then a lighter pink, were raspberry and Tuscany. Those are the colors. And you need 1 skein of each of those. So 7 skeins for that shawl if you want to do it on a size 3 needle. It's just beautiful. Oh my gosh. I had to buy it. Sydney bought this book. She also bought some yarn from the booth. Beautiful yarn. I'm going to definitely order some online. It's gorgeous. I'm so sad I didn't buy any. But you got to see these mittens. You're going to die. Look at these. See those loops? That's outstanding. That color palette, I mean, come on. And I got a bag from them when I purchased the book. How cool is that? Right? Fun. So fun. So I got that. Let's see, where are we at? 12 minutes in, 13 minutes. That's not bad. I was looking around and I wanted to buy a skein of sock yarn because, you know, socks inspired by Rhinebeck. Yeah, right? So I went to Into the World and I bought a Pakaku sock. Wow, look at that. It's so good. It's moody. They're going to be so beautiful. Look at that bright, like, look at that flash of orange in there. It's awesome. Love this skein so much. Here's the label. So I got that. Then I got some fabric. Starcroft is the yarn. I didn't buy any of the yarn. Clementine is the fabric designer. And her name is Leah Andra. Here's the back. She had fabrics there that she designed herself. And I said, yes, I need it. Look at that. So gorgeous. So I got, so let's see, how much are these? Half yards. So I got 2 half yards of that. And then I got 1 half yard of each of these mittens prints. I mean, how cute are they? Aren't they so sweet? Telling you, the talent. The talent. And that's what I bought. While I was at the show, I hung out on the podcaster meetup hill. There was a couple people that I wanted to see. One, the girls from Cocktail Hour at the Coop, Leanne and Liz, did not see them. Sad about that. The next one on my list, Chevis from the Chevy Rel podcast. I saw her from across the yard. She had people around her forever. So I stood on the outskirts and kind of waited for my turn to accost her. As I told her, when I see you, I'm going to hug you. We have been, you know, we chat online all the time. I was one of her first followers on her YouTube channel. So we, you know, created a friendship just via the comment section. And she's been at this for a while now. This was her first time at Rhinebeck. She was there. She had, like I said, lots of people around her. So I was kind of waiting in the wings for my opportunity. Well, she saw me first and came at me, and the bear hugs happened, and I squeezed her so hard, and it was so nice to say hi, and like, We didn't get to chat long though, which was kind of a bummer. So next year is our year. Here's a picture of us. We had a good time. It was nice to see her. I saw her again on our way out and got to chat a little bit longer. And I also, while I was chatting with her, got to meet the guys from, oh, see, she gave me one of these. Koozie. I also have one of her. I have a koozie. This is not a koozie. This is a, this is a coaster. This is a coaster. Now I have a koozie and a matching coaster. And I met the guys from Needles at the Ready, and they gave me their pin and sticker. So it was nice meeting them too. That was Rhinebeck in 17 minutes. So hope you liked that little update. I'm going to talk now about the mystery knit along. If you don't want to hear my banter on that, I'll see you guys on the next video. I have decided not to continue the mystery knit along. I'm going to show my progress right now. So if you don't want to see this, go ahead and turn away. I don't have that much knit here. In fact, I don't have that much more than what I showed in my last video. There should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 14 of these white stripes. So this piece should be a lot bigger. I am not even halfway through it. This has not been fun for me to do. I don't know. It's fiddly. I don't know. Something about these techniques are very slow and fiddly. That's my first reason why I've decided to discontinue knitting it. This has not been fun. These I cord, you know, you're casting off mid-row and recasting on mid-row. That's very slow for me. To remind you of what colors I'm using Pearl Soho, Linen Quill, and Dark Denim. Firefly by Nice and Knit. This is a very, very thin sock yarn. Keep that in mind. That's an important point here that I'm going to try to make. And this single ply, this is by Periwinkle Sheep. And it's fuchsia agate. Okay? This past Thursday, Clue 2 came out. I watched the video that morning that Mr. Steven, put up on his YouTube channel to go through all of the techniques of section 2. None of that sounds fun for me. None of section 2 sounded good to me. And he shows pictures and, you know, he shows video of the technique and then he shows like the end product. I'm just going to say there's some striping that happens. There's some twisted rib that happens. That's fine. The 2 colors would have been these for that section. And then there's some cabling, and that cabling would have been in this color, which at this gauge would not have been good, I don't think. And all the speckles, and you want to be able to see the cable. So there's a mistake that I made. Should have picked a solid color. Should have picked solid colors for all 3 colors. Didn't. Picked this speckle. Not a good choice. Not a good choice. Not a good choice because the projects that I've seen online they're using a thicker weight fingering yarn. Like more like this. And I think that was a mistake. I think that's what I should have picked, is a little bit of a thicker, heavier weight fingering yarn. Another reason I'm not continuing is I don't ever wear his Mystery Knit Along shawls. I've sold a few. The other ones that I've kept sit in a box. I never wear them. They're too busy. I know I will not wear this. And life is too damn short, so. Sorry, Steven, can't do it. I'm tapping out. Tapping out. So the next thing that's gonna show up on my needles, and once I get going, I'll do another podcast to show you the progress, but this hilly hood, that's the next thing on my list. So as far as plans go, I still have to come up with a plan for this. And I have 3 of these. I know I told you that. So I don't know. Probably a cowl is what this will become. I gotta look for something. If you have any ideas on what I can knit with that, let me know. It's worsted weight. This is gonna be a shawl. I gotta find something that I can do with these minis. If you have any ideas, let me know. Socks. No ideas. Toes and heels, maybe. Maybe I can do some color work. I don't want to do color work socks. They just don't fit. I knit extremely tightly, and I just can't. I won't be able to get them on my big fat leg. So if you have any ideas for these, let me know. I hope you liked this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Go ahead and follow, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications of my next videos. And if you were at Rhinebeck and I didn't see you, I am sorry. I hope that maybe we can make a better plan for next year. If you went to Rhinebeck, what was the best thing you saw there? Who was the best person? Did you talk to any podcasters? How'd you approach them? I want to know everything. Go ahead and comment in the comments. Let's discuss Rhinebeck 2022. I love you guys. I'll see you later. Bye for now.